Hello. We are live, a little bit late, but live all the same with Lavender Shadows. The game of Burning Wheel where suffering happens and angry feminists are created. Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and jump into this lovely game. And, of course, we got to start with beliefs and instincts. Marco Tisby, what are your beliefs, instincts, and traits, my friend?
Pretty much the same as last time. Mm-hmm. I can find the killer. I will find justice. I'll find out. Well, yeah, I still need to find out what happened to Ferret. I forgot about him.
Yeah, you should maybe pursue that.
I can. Well, to be fair, I had different things I was pursuing last time. I can find a better life. I will bring my family out of poverty. I'll prove I'm the right man for the job. I will investigate Kleber, see why he's such a butt face.
Instincts and traits.
I always have a knife on me. I always make sure I know who is in the room. I always have an alibi ready. And traits is a rabble-rouser, shrewd, drop-dead, gorgeous, chronologue, odd, frugal, and emotional.
Yeah. You also have, you're cold-blooded, jaded, and thick-skinned.
Right. I always forget to read those ones.
Yeah. Those are the ones that tell us who Marco really is. Marguerite LeBlanc.
Okay, my beliefs. Hard work is more valuable than raw talent. I will impress the instructors with my improvement. My needs come first and Isabeau's than everyone else. I will learn to better understand Isabeau.
Oh.
Yes, I will try to be Isabeau wise.
I will learn to understand better Isabeau.
Whoopsie. I said it correctly when I just said it. But
yeah.
Let me fix that. Okay. And then I'm better than those stuck-up dancers. I'll prove to Benedicta that I'm not the same as them. Mm-hmm. Instincts, I always try to flirt my way out of problems. And if anyone tries to ask about my personal life, I try to deflect/change the subject. My traits are flowery, colorful, fretful, industrious, tolerant, and downtrodden, and I also have a sonorous voice.
Yeah, you do. And so does Emily.
I hate my voice. But thank you.
You're welcome. Josephine Boulet.
I want to learn all that I can about the ancient world. I will discover the truth about the weird signs.
Whee!
The ancient language must not be forgotten. I will continue to teach Vivienne.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that a new society must be created. I will convince Jocelyn to join me.
Yes.
If someone has romantic interest in me, I push them away.
Yeah,
if someone asks me about sign language, I will begin to teach them. Always call out a liar. I am rabble-rouser, instinct hand, no nonsense, headstrong, traditional, sophisticated, and driven. And I also have the mark of flipperage, and I'm a bookworm.
Yes, you are. Very, very true. Last but certainly not least, Vivienne Auguste.
I believe someone can love me. I will find them and return the favor. I believe I owe Jo much. I will heed her advice. I believe Matthias and I belong together. I will get Jo to help me get out of my relationship with Frederick.
Oh no!
Oh. Okay, you're going to drag me into this. Okay.
Instincts, always be kind, even in the face of disrespect. Never neglect to send a swiftly written reply to a letter, and always have a good book on my person. Character traits: rabble-rouser, earthy smell, salt of the earth, sophisticated, headstrong, traditional. Affinity for plants, arc of privilege. Oh, wait, that's not what I'm... Do I need to read those? Yes. Call on traits. That's down to earth.
Yeah, so I added deaf in there because I realized you do have that trait, but we just forgot to add it into your character sheet. You are deaf, which means you cannot do any auditory.
I thought you said deaf. I was
that's what I thought you too.
You are deaf.
You are deaf.
I was like,
she just looks like deaf all the time. Yeah.
I was like, who died besides the other guy?
Yeah.
Which
means you
it's
can't...
actually her who killed him.
That's my fault the entire time.
Dun, dun, dun.
I mean, she does have wolfsbane growing in her garden.
And she was the only one who knew what kind of poison it was in the thing.
So that basically being deaf means you can't obviously make any auditory-based perception tests, and you have a +2 ob to all other perception tests because, you know,
Oh,
you use your hearing
Other
to
senses
perceive
more,
lots
yeah.
of stuff, yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, so again, +2 ob. That means it's more difficult because
Wait for the other senses.
for any other test, that perception test you make, because you don't have the sense of hearing, the idea is so like say you're trying to notice someone coming towards you, you know, or you make an observation test or something. Obviously, not being able to hear would hinder you in actually accomplishing that goal. That's kind of the idea behind it. So you're just kind of worse at perception
They
testing.
actually have a wider perception range, I would just like to point out.
Well, that's the rules of the game.
Because
so.
of, they see better, so I'd just like to point that out.
Well.
It is a fact.
Okay, all right. I'll take your word for it. Bernie Wheel, however, will not. Okay,
Fair
cool.
enough.
Yeah. Okie dokie. So let's think about this briefly. Do we want to do any sort of time skip? Any amount of days we want to pass by?
I wouldn't be mad if we skipped forward 8 days for me to get my next dancing test done.
Joe's fine. Yeah, a couple of days would be fine.
However many weeks it takes to get rid of my injury. 7 weeks.
All of the plots would be resolved in 7 weeks.
All of them?
All of the main ones right now, certainly. But we could skip. I mean, it's up to you. The rest of you. Marguerite says we skip 8 days. Do you guys want to
Would
skip
get
8
me
days?
to 6 weeks
Okay,
remaining.
my
so
question is, how long do I have before Matthias gets here?
You don't know.
Okay, but
But like if we time skip 8 days.
Will he have been there for
Then
4
we-
days?
Right. Well, that's the thing. If we time skip for 8 days, then the idea would, because I don't have a particular timetable for this. So if we want to skip to 8 days, then I can just say that's when Matthias shows up, right? So
well, my point is, I need time to like convince my parents that,
right.
like, before he just shows up and is like, "Oh, I'm
Yeah.
marrying your daughter, by the way."
Yeah, that's very fair. Very, very fair. Okay, so we can't skip 8 days. Let's do a time skip.
I mean, unless it's gonna take him longer to get there, but
Probably not.
okay.
So let's say
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah, let's say it's been 3 days since last session. So everybody update your timers on anything you have. 3 days. have
How many
passed.
days?
3 days.
So I have a 6 weeks, 7 weeks remaining. 6 weeks remaining. I think it's 7. I don't remember.
7 is what it says in your character sheet.
I just mean with the
So-
added 3 days.
Oh, with the 3 days, I mean 6 weeks and 4 days. Cool. Yeah. So, who wants to have a scene first? I know all of you pretty much have ideas about what you want to do, so who wants to go first? Marguerite, thank you for volunteering
Well, I
yourself.
wasn't sure if Carly wanted to go since she had something that she wanted to
Not
do during
right
the 8
now,
days.
no.
Okay.
Yeah, go
That's what I was like waiting to see. Sure.
So what
I
do
will
you
take
want
the
to work
stage.
Yeah.
Either something actually at the opera or more training with Benedicta. Either one.
Well, let's go back to Benedicta then.
Okay.
Because then we might be able to set up something where the rest of the characters show up to the opera too. Yeah, you're training with Benedicta. You've been bringing Isabeau to the training sessions. Isabeau, because I think you did succeed, right, on your persuasion test to get her to train with dancing, right?
Yes.
Did you? Yeah.
Yes.
And so she's been doing all of the like fancy like running, jumping stuff. That's what she's interested in. But yeah, over the last 3 days, Isabeau has definitely come to enjoy dancing a bit more. Oh, you know what? I think she has a test that she's working on too, doesn't she?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, she has then 8 days left until her routine dance test. Cool. So she has been working on that. And honestly, it's been a great 3 days for you, Marguerite, because like you you haven't had to worry about Isabeau a whole lot, right? She's been kind of caught up in the training itself, and Benedicta has basically been kind of like momming both of you a bit here. So it's been, I mean, it's hard work, right? You've had to be training and stuff, but the last 3 days have passed in sort of a whirlwind of dance muse, right? Like just kind of like getting into the world of each movement. So let's see, you have goals here. You're trying to prove to Benedicta that you are not the same as them. How do you go about doing that? I mean,
I'm really mostly using Isabeau because besides her, I really am the same as them.
Okay, yeah, you just want to
Except I just don't have money.
Exactly. So you're gonna
I'm
use
just
Isabeau,
poor, and I have a daughter.
Yeah, as the one point of difference, and then emphasize that a whole bunch.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So how do you want to go about that? What has been happening over the last 3 days exactly?
Well, I will have been like trying a little more outside of lessons to understand Isabeau in order to then basically I'm actually improving myself just to like prove to Benedicta that I'm better than other people by actually bettering myself and getting to know Isabeau better to be a better mom.
Right. Okay. So you take the opportunity of the training to really like help Isabeau too.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it sounds like a child rearing test, right? You're basically trying to, you're using instruction, really, is what you're doing, right?
So would that be a whole other thing, instruction, or do I just do child rearing?
Yeah, because child rearing can act as instruction for children.
Okay, perfect.
So
I don't want to have to try and open another thing.
And really, what you're kind of trying to do is you're just trying to help her learn quicker, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, this isn't necessarily in the rules of Burning Wheel, but I feel like if you made a good child rearing test, you could like get her a couple of extra days towards, like closer to the goal. That makes sense.
Okay.
For the purposes of this role, but the main purpose of the role is to impress Benedicta, right? That's the intent.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So give us a short like snippet of a scene of like what you're doing exactly with Isabeau. Right. So she like does a leap and kind of like lands weirdly, and she says, "I'm not getting it right."
And I just kind of go, "It's okay, Isabeau. We don't get it right on the first time. Hardly ever. It's only happened to me a few times."
Right, yeah. She says, "Miss Masse always gets it right on the first try."
Well, it's not her first try. She's done it many, 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 many times.
And Benedicta just gives you a look like, "I'm not that old." Like,
and I just kind of go, "Just like I have for a lot of things that I do."
Right. She just kind of like raises an eyebrow at you, but continues going off to like, I don't know, get some bandages or something to wrap your guys' feet or something. I don't know.
And I go, "Do you think the first time that I baked bread it was good, or the first time I tried to sew a dress it looked beautiful?"
No, the first time you tried to bake bread, I remember it being awful.
See?
It tasted.
But I've gotten.
It tasted like that garbage that we found the raccoon eating outside of our house that one time.
Why did you taste that?
I was wondering.
Well, if the raccoon was eating it,
Isabeau, no, please don't anymore. But okay, the point is, do you like the bread that I bake now? Is the and I just kind of go, "Isabeau, is the bread that I bake now better than before?"
I guess.
So it took time to improve.
She seems to be like really struggling with that concept, but yeah, go ahead and make it the test and we'll see if she gets it.
What's the base of?
Good question. So it's the will, so base up 2. Oh, so close. Do you have any fate?
Oh, yes, but do I really want to use it right now?
Okay, so you have a 6, so you could spend 1 fate to reroll the 6, or 2 fate to reroll 2 dice.
Reroll 2 dice.
Yeah.
Ugh. I will spend 1 fate.
Okay, sounds good. And that will go in will.
Will.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get the hang of this.
I had a feeling you would.
No!
Oh, wow. So sad. So very, very sad.
Okay.
Yeah, so she just like frowns again, and then she says, it's no good. I'm not any good at this, Mom. I'm not going to be. And she just like sits down, just like.
Quick, introduce me to her. I'll make her into a bookworm.
Hey, little girl. You don't care about sports. You should care about books.
I kind of go over to her and I go, Isabeau, it's okay if you want to take a break for today, but we need to keep trying to try and get better.
Okay, real
That's
quick.
the only way that you get better.
Real quick, I just had an image of these characters in some sort of like chibi version of the show where like it's a school and Marguerite is the jock, is like the cheerleader, and Joe is the nerd, like the nerdy girl.
She wears short skirts. I wear t-shirts.
Just imagine
She's
all of the
cheer
characters that
captain
chibi characters
I'm on
sound.
the bleachers.
It's great. It's so great. And Matthias and Frederick are pining over Vivienne the whole time. So good. So good.
I'm just like the nerdy friend of like, I'm just like the one
Exactly.
that she,
Yeah,
And then they like ask me for advice on like how to like hang out with her and get to know her more.
Yep.
How do you interpret what she's doing right now?
And Vivienne's dad is the principal of the school. Like, I can see it all. Anyway, continue, Marguerite. What did you say?
I kind of go over to her and I go, Isabeau, if you want to take a break, that's okay, but we're not going to quit on this, okay?
And then she just kind of like frowns and like huffs and looks off into the like off to into the distance, and Benedicta kind of like walks over and then kind of like gives you a look and then like jerks her head like, okay, come over here, I gotta talk to you.
Yes, okay. I walk over.
Yeah, and she kind of raises an eyebrow and she says, what are you doing?
What do you mean, what am I doing?
It's obvious, Marguerite, what you're doing. You're trying to impress me.
Of course I'm trying to impress you. You're the best dance teacher, and I want to be the best dancer that I can be.
That's not what I mean. Do you remember that conversation we had when you first came here? How you claimed that you weren't like the rest? Well, it's becoming increasingly obvious what this thing with Isabeau is all about for you. You don't really care about her as your daughter, do you?
How could you even accuse me
Marguerite, let me ask you a question. If a very rich noblewoman came into this room right now and said, I will give you a comfortable life for the rest of your life, and I will give you a position as the most popular dancer in the city, and all you have to do is give me your child, what would you tell that noble lady?
Oh dear. What would I tell this noble lady?
Do you have falsehood?
Yes. Ooh. That's an interesting question, just like in general, to think about if she would actually do it. But of course, she's not going to say yes. Because I'm trying to think like if it would be like a falsehood or persuasion role, like to convince.
I mean, what do you
like,
say?
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out, like if she would actually do it or not,
Right.
to figure out which one it would be.
Or would Marguerite just try to deflect the question?
Also a possibility.
Like, yeah, she'd probably just be like, Benedicta, that is the most ridiculous question of a situation that would never happen, and I'm still just honestly offended that you would think that of me.
Is that a true statement, Marguerite?
That it's a ridiculous question and I'm offended she would think that of me? Yes, that is true.
Okay. Yeah, she raises an eyebrow again and she says, Marguerite, I've raised enough daughters to know. I've raised enough daughters to know that sometimes you don't want a daughter. Sometimes you have to deal with it anyway. Sometimes it's forced upon you. Sometimes you're a famous dance teacher, but you're still a commoner. Sometimes no one really knows who the father is. She gives you like a penetrating glare. And sometimes that can be the hardest on the child. Don't take this out on her, please. And don't use her in your games.
Just because you don't think I'm the best mom doesn't mean I'm not trying. I kind of like turn away and like go back to like doing whatever.
Yeah, she kind of looks a little bit troubled by that, or by something, at least. And she just kind of like stares after you and kind of like grunts to herself. And the training continues. Who would like another scene? Who do you want to jump to? Got plenty of stuff.
I just got food, so anyone else can go before me.
I mean, I could add one more little part to my thing.
Go ahead.
After like maybe instead of like going directly to like dancing more, I would think at this point if Isabeau's getting all frustrated with stuff, it's probably near the end of our rehearsal anyway.
Sure.
I kind of just like squat down to Isabeau and go, okay, we're done for today. What would you like to go and do now?
She looks up at you with inquisitive eyes, like, oh, like really? Like, and she kind of seems to think about it for a moment. And she says, Can we get a treat?
Let's head to the bakery and see what they have.
Okay.
And we're off to the bakery.
Sure, yeah. And I think you get there, and she, because I'm realizing that I should have probably given you a chance to like make a roll there, and
that's what I'm like.
Gave you the answer.
Have her be like, "Mommy, you pick my favorite."
I feel like that's a bit on the nose, but yeah, like, Mom, do you remember what my favorite treat is? Look here, Marguerite, I'll just give you a chance to like know that already, right?
Okay.
So Isabeau Wise, I mean, up to probably.
Up to. Okay. Again. Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing.
Got another 6, yeah.
Oh my God! Same thing.
What in the heck? It was the exact same thing twice in a row. Wow. All right. Then.
Okay. I just kind of go, oh, you obviously would want eclair, right?
No, I don't like those at all. And then she just like points at something else, and Clarice in the bakery just like, oh, of course, dear, I remember you. You love these, don't you? And then she like pulls it out and puts it on the counter.
Marguerite will remember this.
But the moment has passed. Isabeau is like, my mom doesn't understand me.
I might. I'll take you under my wing. You'll become a feminist just like me.
Interesting. I wonder if that thing with Benedicta was foreshadowing. Maybe a noble lady will adopt your child. So I think what happens, Marguerite, is you're in the bakery, and you turn around as Isabeau starts like chowing down on this thing, and you see a man in the corner, just like a little bench, and he's there eating some sort of like sweet treat, and he looks like probably a nobleman, but his dress is sort of, it seems sort of like maybe out of fashion, like a couple seasons like late or early rather.
I would know exactly how many seasons.
Exactly, yeah. It's probably like, I don't know, 4 years out of date sort of thing. This fashion that he's wearing. But he has this. He has a red cape.
Oof.
I know, yeah. He has a red cape.
Red cape again?
Mm-hmm. He has a red cape, and he's just eating this treat, and he's just like looking at you. He just like catches your eye, and he just like kind of like does a. He's like a handsome man, brown hair, a bit of a neatly trimmed beard, and he is just kind of like chewing on this thing, and like just kind of catches your eye and notices you.
Seeing as with Isabeau, I kind of give him like a coy wink, and then just like I'm tending to Isabeau though.
Okay, yeah, he raises one eyebrow, and then I think he finishes his treat and like stands up, kind of like dusts off his trousers or whatever, and then walks over, and he says, "My lady."
Oh, hello there.
Your daughter is a joy. I imagine. Your daughter is a joy. I can imagine. A delight. Yeah, that's what I meant to say.
The first one sounded creepy.
It did sound creepy. Yeah, he's like, she seems like a delightful. She seems delightful. Basically, is his point. He just kind of like, and he's not smiling in a creepy way or anything. Like he literally just like smiles down and just like, you seem like a nice mom with your nice daughter. Like,
yeah, you would be correct with that. She is, just lights up every room and lights up my heart.
Quite. I say, you look familiar. Do I know you?
You might know me from performing at
the Harmony Opera House, isn't it? Yes, of course. Yeah, I saw a showing of the Celestial Trumpet a few days ago. You were one of the pixies, weren't you?
Yes, I was.
Interesting. And I think he takes a little bit of a step closer and then like kind of like looks to the side and then suddenly looks back at you and has a very serious expression. Kind of leans in and then just says, "Marguerite, you're in the center of something very dangerous. I would be very wary if I was you."
What was your name again?
He steps back and he just smiles at you like he didn't ever say that. He says, "Oh, my name is Xanatos. Nice to meet you."
Xanatos.
I'll spell it in chat for you.
Okay.
It definitely seems like a weird name. Like you've never met anyone with that name before.
I expect to say, "My name is Xanatos, World Eater."
Yeah, it seems pretty like a very grand name.
Well, Xanatos, if you'd like to see me again, you know where to find me. With another wink.
Yeah, he kind of gives you like an "oh honey" sort of like smile. He's just like, okay. And I think he says,
I was trying to do it in a way of like flirty, but also like he just said that thing. If you are gonna actually talk to me again, you know where to like come to talk to me.
Sure. Yeah, so he just.
But who knows if he understands that or if he just thinks I'm dumb.
I think he gets it. I think he gets it. Yeah, he smiles back at you. And I think the last thing he says before he takes his leave is he says, let's see, how would he phrase this?
like a gong.
He says, I think he says, the other three I can understand. I'm still not sure about you yet. Why are you important, Marguerite LeBlanc? And then he just, like, steps out and leaves.
Rude.
Wow.
Weird.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then I like if he goes out the front door, I like get Isabeau to go with me through the back door back to the house.
Mm-hmm. Yes, as you are going, right? Like a couple of things come to mind. Like he didn't give you a title. He didn't get offended when you didn't refer to him with a title. And he literally just said Xanatos. So he was definitely like dressed as a nobleman, but whether or not he has like actually has a title as a nobleman or something, you're not sure. He was just a very weird person. Yeah. So I think real quick when you get back to your house, I think real quick I'm gonna make a roll here, because Mr. Rowan Darcy has been busy. Let's see. What can he fork into this? Mr. Darcy has been fixing up your house for you.
Ooh, okay.
And the intention of his role, more than anything, is not just to, like, fix your house, but to, like, make you like him and, like, have a conversation with him. Like, so, what? Well, first off, your house isn't, what is the state of your house right now? Is it badly damaged?
No, I wouldn't say like
Just kind of
badly
like general
damaged.
household repairs could be done.
Yeah.
Okay. So real quick, he's gonna make that test just to like do the household repairs. Okay, so he just got the roll that he needed.
Oh my gosh, with 9.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Whew.
And so, but he's gonna lead this into a conversation. So you get there, and you see him like putting the finishing touches basically on this like window shutter, right? Like banging on the nail, and then he just like make sure it's like steady and it's not gonna like be creaking anymore. And he's like, okay, and he kind of like nods to himself and then looks back and sees that you're like coming, and he says, "Ah, Miss LeBlanc, good to see you. I been just doing a couple of odds and ends. I noticed that your window could use some work, so." He just kind of leaves it hanging. Not the window,
Leave the window.
his words.
I was gonna say it. I wanted to say
Nope.
Rude.
Wow, Mr. Darcy, I didn't realize you were so handy.
He definitely does. Like, he has a look at you, and he's just like he literally like blushes, like he's just like, well, I know a few things.
Well, thank you, Isabeau. Can we thank Mr. Darcy? Look at our new shutters.
Thank you, Mr. Darcy. I'm sorry for running away again. Oh, don't worry about it, my child. Not a worry. Not a care. Miss LeBlanc, I was wondering. I seem to have the evening free. Do you?
Are you offering to watch Isabeau for the evening? Darcy, you don't need to. We both just came from dance rehearsal, so I think we're both a little tired out. We're probably gonna go inside and take a little rest.
I see.
But that's such a kind offer from you. I really appreciate it.
It's quite all right. Well, Miss LeBlanc, let me offer at least one thing then. Could I make dinner for you and Miss Isabeau?
I don't see any problem with that.
Splendid. Well, I will see you later then. I'll go get to work on that right away.
Okay.
Yeah, he just
Thank you.
he steps over to his house and like starts like gathering up some vegetables from his garden, kind of whistling to himself like, okay, yeah, cool. And real quick, I'm gonna make a roll for him. You know, I don't even know if he has cooking. Let me look. He does. He has cooking. Cool. All right, real quick, he's gonna make a roll here. Okay, so the intent of this is to impress you. Like, this is specifically like impress you, and what he wants to happen is you'll actually have a freaking conversation with him. What's the ob? How good does this meal have to be?
Ooh, it has to be a pretty good meal. I mean, like, would it be like against my will? I feel like it would be like
you
good
can set it however
ob,
you want. Yeah.
like that. I feel like that's the good, like, objective way to set it.
Mm-hmm.
So
What's
that
your
would
will?
be a 4.
A 4. Okay. All right. He's gonna spend his 2 persona on this.
Come on, Mr. Darcy.
Oh, he did
Nice.
it! Awesome. All right, gotta put down these tests. Okay. So he makes what amounts to as fine a meal as you're gonna get as a commoner. Like, it's very like hearty and nutritious, but delicious, right? Like he uses the spices all in the right ways. It is, mostly involves vegetables, bread. It's like a stew. There's some meat, but like it's just really well put together. And he kind of like knocks on the door. I assume you answer it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I go answer the door.
Mm-hmm. And then so he's just like, well, dinner seems to be ready. Would you like me to bring it over here, or would you care to come to my home?
Oh, if you could bring it over here, that would be perfect.
Of course. More familiar environment anyway. And then he goes into his house and literally brings like these, like pots and stuff, like filled with like this nice stew and this like loaf of bread, and he just starts setting everything up. And like literally he's just like kind of like whistling to himself, and he just starts like setting up your table. He has like a tablecloth that he brings from his house, and just like he's setting up this like really nice meal for you three. And sets it all up, and Isabeau like is just like, oh my gosh, this is the best food I've ever eaten. She just chows out on it. But yeah, so he sits down with you, and you guys eat, and then he, what's your exact like response as you're like eating and stuff like?
I'm just kind
visibly.
of like, I mean, probably the same as Isabeau, kind of like chowing down and being like, wow, this is Mr. Darcy, you've surprised me. This is so delicious.
Oh, thank you. I've been teaching myself to cook for many years. It's not very often that I get to cook for anyone else these days, but I'm glad you both enjoy it.
I was about to say, I'm sure Isabeau appreciates it. I try to cook, but sometimes.
Oh, yes. I mean, you're a busy
Occasionally,
woman. You have a career to attend to. I can understand that.
Yes, she's not used to actual home-cooked meals, just home-cooked meals from other homes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so he, real quick, Mr. Rowan Darcy is played by James Brolin. And so he kind of like clasps his hands in front of him, and he says, "Now, Miss LeBlanc, there's a matter of some delicacy that I would like to bring up, and I hope you don't think me too forward in asking this question, but
Just
well,
as long as it's delicate in a way that, I mean, Isabeau's still at the table.
oh,
so.
of course, no, nothing like that.
Oh, okay.
I've noticed that, well, with your work at the Opera House and Isabeau's needs and the house and everything. Well, it seems that you might be in... I suppose what I'm trying to say, Marguerite, is... Would you possibly be considering... I'm saying this all wrong. Marguerite.
And Marguerite's just kind of like...
Yeah. You seem like a wonderful person. But in this hard world we live in, I feel like you might need a helping hand. Another...
Mr. Darcy, yes. That is exactly what I've been looking for this whole time. And that's what you've been for me, is the best helping hands that I could ask for. Honestly, you're so good with Isabeau.
Thank you.
You're
And so
cooking
my
for
thought,
her and providing great
Miss
food. And I
Miss LeBlanc, my thought
appreciated
is
it. Yes.
that we could maybe make this arrangement more official.
Oh, to hire you? I don't know if I have the money for that.
He frowns and he says, I apologize, I'm being too vague. Miss LeBlanc, would you consider marrying me?
Wow, Mr. Darcy, that really...
Okay, so let me say something. Is there any possible way he could make a test to this? Any possibility? You can just say no.
I don't think he has no money.
What are you talking about?
Like, no.
He's
like,
a handyman. He has
I know,
resources
but
of two. He has more money than you do.
Which is why I'm using his resources to have him look after and care for my child.
Mm-hmm.
But like, he has no status. Like, this is not what Marguerite wants. At least not until she becomes a better person. Maybe she would want him then. But no.
Yeah, so not a possibility.
No.
Okay, so continue your line of thought then.
Wow, Mr. Darcy, that is really out of nowhere. Sorry,
I apologize. I shouldn't have even... I know, I'm
No,
an old man and I'm past my time.
No.
And he just, like,
I'm
stands up.
flattered, honestly. It's just surprised. I didn't realize that I don't, and I just kind of like shaking my head like I
shouldn't be bothering you. I shouldn't have bothered you at all. I'm sorry. Forget that I won't be bothering you anymore, Miss LeBlanc. I apologize.
No, Mr. Darcy, you're not a bother. I'm just still trying to think about this. And
he turns back, like, a little bit of glimmer of hope in his eyes, like, oh, wait.
I'm just kind of like, I was just so shocked by it, is all.
You mean you don't get marriage proposals often? I would think that you would get them all the time.
Once again, thank you. I'm flattered. Most people would probably assume that, but I'm just so busy with my dancing and my career and Isabeau, so I don't have a lot of time to meet lots of people.
Yes, and I understand that. I want to make it clear. I'm not trying to take up more of your time, but I think that as a team, that maybe we could help. Well, I feel like Isabeau would be better off, and you would have more time.
Are you saying that I'm not a good enough mother for Isabeau?
Oh my god.
Poor man.
And he literally, like, you see a tear like well up in his eye,
I
and he just
kinda-
like starts to like choke sob a little. He's
I'm like,
I
Mr. Darcy,
no, I was not.
appreciate all of your help, but if you could leave, that would be
I will
appreciated
leave
for
at
right
once.
now.
You have my deepest apologies, Miss LeBlanc. I have hurt you deeply, and I should not have. I'm sorry. And then he just walked away.
The worst.
You really, really are.
The worst.
Okay, so real quick question. So as it stands right now, this guy will probably never talk to you again. Like, you've just like basically broken his heart. But if you do want him to like stick around and still help you with things, but not press you for marriage again, you could say something else and make a persuasion check, and like try to like get him to still like be around to help with Isabeau, but like have him drop the whole marriage thing.
Yeah. I don't know. What would Marguerite even say to have that happen?
I don't know. We could also leave the conversation there, and then you could go over there later. And then
Yeah,
try to do
like
that.
yeah.
That's fine.
I have to return his cooking, his thoughts.
Right,
and
exactly.
stuff.
Yeah. Once that happens, sure. Cool. Awesome. All right, cool. Yeah. Who wants to pick up another scene then? Wants to jump in? I know Marco has investigating to do. Josephine has recruiting to do. Vivienne has recruiting to do.
See, this is why I extended my scene, because no one else wanted to even play, apparently.
I
Just
want
me.
to play. It's just that I spent so much time last session. That's why I'm like, you guys go. Like, I'm good. Like, it's fine.
Maybe let's go to Marco next.
I have no clue what I'm supposed to be doing, though.
Oh, okay. Then that's fine.
I mean, I still have no like because we kind of left at a weird spot, and I'm not sure.
I mean, okay, so what you could continue to try to figure out what happened to Farron. Like you could go back to the house if you wanted to and try to like look for more clues.
might
You
as
never actually
well.
went to the house, right?
Maybe I'll try that then.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you show up at the scene of the crime again. And it's I mean the house has been abandoned for a while now. There's some like boards kind of like boarding up like some of the windows and stuff. The door is closed but not like boarded up. So yeah, what do you do?
I try the door.
Yeah, I mean it seems either locked or jammed or jar something like that.
How busy is this area?
I mean, it was sort of busy before. I mean, I don't know what time of day are you going?
Roll.
Would you go in the middle of the night? Like,
I don't know, because that would make me look more suspicious.
it really would. Someone's breaking into that man's home.
I'll go kind of probably like early morning, maybe. You'll say.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I mean, you don't see anyone out at this time.
Okay, I'm gonna take. This is gonna probably not work.
You see like a cat in an alleyway nearby, but that's about it.
Wait, where is it? I'm gonna like try and like pick the lock with my knife or something like that. See if I can like jimmy it open.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, you could certainly make an untrained lockpicking test without tools. That is totally a thing you could do. It would be impossible to succeed on, but yeah.
Fine. Never mind if it's impossible.
The issue is if you're doing it untrained, it's already doubling the ob, and then doing it without tools, so that actual like lockpicking kit.
Oh,
is
like the knife doesn't
it
count
doubles
as
it
a
again,
tool?
basically. You know.
Okay.
No.
Is there like I don't remember exactly the layout of this. Is it like a house like the middle? Like what exactly
It's like
is
a
the layout
shanty house, right? It's just like a slum
But
house.
like where is it? Like is it near a bunch of other houses?
Yeah.
Is
It's in a very crowded like shack neighborhood, basically.
So there's not like a back of. Is there a back of the house?
Yeah, you could probably find one. Yeah.
I mean I can find it. I'm pretty. It's easy to find the backside of.
So
a
I think
house.
I think the way that these are built is right. It's like a bunch of houses that are all basically at the back of this house is an alley, and there is a door at the back, I guess.
I'll try the back door.
Yeah, you can try the back door. It also seems like locked or jar or jammed or something like that. But you haven't like actually tried anything yet, so you don't know exactly if it's just like stuck a bit or.
I'll push on it a bit.
Yeah, just want to like. So you want to push on it without like making a whole bunch of noise.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just like try to jimmy it open.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's have you make a. What kind of test? A brawling test, probably. Yeah.
I have that. Yay. And can I fork in inconspicuous and streetwise?
You can fork in streetwise. You could inconspicuous. I guess honestly is like it would have to be like another test to do it inconspicuously. So okay, so there's a couple things you could do here. We can either have you make an inconspicuous roll, and then the ob I think is going to be 1 for the brawling test, or you can not make an inconspicuous roll, and then the brawling test ob will be 2, but that's to do it inconspicuously, right? It's built into the brawling test basically. So do you want a harder brawling test, or you have to make 2 tests?
And the inconspicuous would probably be pretty. Would the inconspicuous?
It wouldn't be super high, yeah. But if I tell you the ob, you'll have to make the roll. So
not too high still worries me. It doesn't have to be too high for it to be too hard.
Mhm.
Screw it. I'll try it. I'll try inconspicuous.
Okay. Sounds good.
I don't think I could. I don't think I could fork in anything there.
Probably not. Your ob is 1.
Cool. That's not that hard then. It's still possible that this will fail completely.
Given how many zeros you've rolled, yes, very.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah. Even with wounds, yeah, you still got it.
So brawling.
Yep. So brawling
Ob
1.
1,
Mhm.
but I can fork in streetwise. You said.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Oh, also you can fork in sleight of hand if you want.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So 2 modifiers. Ob 1.
Mhm.
There we go.
There you go. Or you can mark routine tests on both of those skills.
On brawling and on
Inconspicuous.
Conspicuous.
Yep.
Okay.
Sounds good. Yeah, so you managed to just like kind of like jimmy it open just enough so it's quiet, but still gets the door open. Yeah, it was just kind of jammed. Someone maybe there was like, I think there was maybe something in front of it, but you managed to push it out of the way, like a bag of flour or something, so you push it open. And
When I would have, well, actually, no, I don't have any light. Oh, traveling gear, would that include light?
traveling gear, yeah, it would be like a lantern or a torch or something, yeah.
I'd probably bring a lantern then.
Okay, yeah. Do you light it then?
Well, I mean, I said it's early in the morning, so it's probably fairly dark in here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
Yeah.
we see your silhouette, and then you're messing with the flint, and then the flame starts, and you kind of peer into the room. And yeah, I mean, you basically just want to like investigate,
Mm-hmm.
like do a CSI stuff. Okay, cool.
I need sunglasses to put on
Yeah, I
and
know.
go, yeah!
Sure. Yep. Exactly. So you're gonna make an observation test. If you want to, you could make some linked tests. Like
There's observation.
it's in
Oh, it's right there.
B1
Oh, it's
for
in
you,
B1.
yeah.
Great.
Only thing I can think of. I mean, you can make a murder-wise test if you wanted to for a link test to
Mhm.
get an advantage die. I'll just make it ob 1, like just to give you a
Come on,
if
take
you
the
wanted
play.
to.
So, no modifiers, ob 1.
Yeah, just to basically, use your advantage of murder as an advantage. You will be able to. Okay, so as it stands, wow, you got 1-6. That's the only thing you rolled. So as it stands,
It's the only thing I can roll. I only have 2, and I
Yeah.
have a.
As it stands, you don't have any penalty to the roll, but you don't technically have any advantage because of the way link tests work. So if you wanted to spend your fate and reroll that die, it won't hurt you at all, but it might give you an extra die on the next roll. So
1d6 greater than 4 exclamation mark.
Mhm.
No, not 1d4.
or,
1d6 greater
1d6,
than 4.
yeah,
Greater than 4 or greater than equal to 4?
greater than 4.
Okay. Hey.
Yeah, the way the algorithm does it, it's automatically greater or equal then. So,
Okay, that's weird.
and we'll,
So that's 2.
yeah. So you get, I don't, you know what? Sure, I'll give you 2 modifier dice
Okay.
on this roll. Unfortunately, you
So-
didn't need a difficult murder-wise test. You need a routine to advance it, but it's fine. Cool.
So that's observation, 2 modifiers.
And I think the ob will be. Let me actually do this. Oh, whoops. Okay. Well, your ob is 5.
So it's impossible.
Yep. But you have to make the roll anyway.
Oh, additional
That was
complications.
such a good roll. Nope. Oh wow.
Oof.
Well, you get a difficult test on your perception though, so that's good for you. Yeah, I mean, you need one more difficult test on perception and it advances, so that's good. And then you'll have a perception of 6, which is great. Yeah, so I mean, basically what happens, right, is for what I know as the GM, right, like the guy who murdered the other guy was very clean, right, with the stuff that he left behind. So there's just you scour the place, but you just don't find anything useful. And so yeah, I mean, you feel like you're sort of at a loss, right, for like where to go next, because Ferrant was the witness and he's dead, and the guy that you're chasing after, you don't really you have a base description, right? He was bald and he didn't have facial hair and he had a deep voice. Like that's what you know, and that could be so many people in this city. So yeah, I mean, where do you want to go from here?
This was like my one lead.
Well, the other lead you have is the Klebers, right? Is to try to see if he was involved in it at all, by interrogating him further, or someone in his house, or like a servant, or.
Do I know anything about them though? Like anyone that I could talk to? Well, obviously, he wasn't very too friendly.
You heard that rumor about how he might have gotten a girl pregnant at the opera house.
Yep.
Might want to investigate that.
Sure. I mean, I'll go talk with the people at the opera house, see if they have anything about that.
Yeah. Sure. How do you want to go about that? Are you just like wandering around talking to people, or?
Well, I mean, I imagine I've been there for like 3 weeks. I imagine I've like met people at this point. So like whoever I probably would know.
Yeah, make a circles test then to know a person who like you've gotten along with now at the opera house and wouldn't have the information that you need.
Where is there's circles, and I can't fork anything because it's an attribute.
You can't fork anything, but you can use if you have any affiliations or reputations that you do not.
But I have the relationships don't matter.
No, nope. You could have your uncle do the circles test for you.
That would be better, probably, because he doesn't have an injury, and he's probably a lot more circly.
Circles tests don't have wound dice.
Well, still, he's probably has a circle more than 2.
It's probably a lot more circly.
I mean, he is fatter than you are, so yes.
Oh.
He's a bit of a rotund man. Yeah, okay. So you go. I mean, he's your relationship, right? So you can just like go talk to him. Just a reminder, he's played by Woody Harrelson. And you go into his office. And he is, just writing something down, and he looks up and he says, Marco, my boy, what can I do for you? Any luck on the investigation?
I wish. You mentioned something the other day, because it's been 3 days at this point, about a rumor about Mr. Kleber?
Yeah, something about
Frederick Kleber.
An out-of-wedlock pregnancy. Did you find anything more on that?
Actually, no. I had just starting to look into it. Who did you hear this from? One of your workers here?
The ladies like to gossip, the dancers. I would go there if you're looking for someone to interrogate about that.
Anyone specific?
Yeah, I mean, so he's gonna make a roll here, but I feel like the roll is gonna be like to know. I mean, really, this is to know you, Marguerite, and that you're the person, right? He's city-born, so he can make the roll. So, let's see here. I think for him it's going to be an ob3 circles test.
I mean, he knows Marguerite.
He does very much know Marguerite in some ways that we will not discuss.
He knows her in the biblical sense of the word.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so there you go. Yeah, he has money to throw around, so he also just used that. Yeah, so let's say that conversation like happened a couple days ago, and then you go back into his office, and you had basically just asked him like, could you ask around and like find out more about, because you're the one who, you see if you can dig that information up for me. And yeah, I mean, I think basically what he does, is he says, Marco, my boy, I believe I may have narrowed down who might be the people to talk to. There's a trio of dancers that usually play the Pixies in the Celestial Trumpet. Marguerite Long, Melota Thomas, and then he says another name, the third woman that we haven't really talked to yet. And he says, you might want to talk to those three. They might know something more. Can't say if it's one of them specifically, but I mean, they all have children, so...
Okay, I will... Sorry, I'm looking up how to spell Marguerite. Marguerite.
That's how you say it in Finnish.
I was doing Spanish, but okay.
I know, that was the joke.
Okay, so when will they be in?
Oh, I believe they're practicing right now.
Okay, so I'll go out to where they practice and kind of I'm just going to wait because I'm not going to interrupt their practice because I don't need them to be annoyed at me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And you see, Marguerite and the other two ladies practicing their particular section of the Celestial Trumpet, where they like go, talk to the heroine of the...
Are they like play. Being instructed by someone?
No,
like
they're just kind of running through that particular section of the play. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you just wait until they're done with that section, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
I don't want to interrupt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the three of them go off, and then start getting water and stuff, right?
So I'll go to excuse me, ladies.
Melota looks up at you, and I think does like a...
Actually, probably what I did is I probably took the nice clothes that he gave me and got dressed up. I was like, they're not going to want to talk to me dressed like this.
Yeah.
So
you're dressed like you could be a nobleman, technically.
Well, the nice clothes my uncle gave me, so exactly. I don't look so trashy.
Mm-hmm. Like you usually do.
Yeah.
I feel
I think, when I look trashy.
Yeah, I think Melota Thomas gives you a once over, and I mean you have the
drop dead gorgeous.
Exactly. And so I think she says, "Why, yes, sir. Of course we can help you."
I didn't say that yet, but okay.
What did you say?
I said, excuse me, ladies. That's all I said.
I think she says that anyway.
I say allow me to introduce myself. I am Marco Tisby. I am
Mr. Bertrand Crozier.
Mr. Bertrand Crozier's nephew. And
Melota Thomas is played by Kobe Smulders. That's what she looks like.
She looks like a pixie. Yep. I don't know what that was supposed to mean.
Sorry, what was the last thing that you just said?
I'm a nephew to Mr. Bertrand Crozier, and I've been doing some work for him, trying to figure out what happened to Mr. Dead Guy Lord Maxence Bechard.
Yeah. So Marguerite, how are you responding to this?
Just stretching, listening,
Yeah.
but like stretching in a suggestive manner. He is drop dead gorgeous out there.
But I
Yeah.
am
So
jaded.
Marco, you have like literally these like 3 beautiful dancers are all just like being really suggestive in front of you right now.
And I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like, this is going to be difficult.
Mm-hmm. For who? That's the question. Yeah, so Melota Thomas says, of course we can help you, Mr. Tisby. We would be delighted to, wouldn't we, ladies?
Oh, of course, Mr. Tisby. Would you want to move to somewhere more private?
Actually, I think I only need to talk to one of you, but no! Oh my gosh! I'll reword that. I'm going to reword that. I think I have.
So yes, one of you can come with me to this private scenario. That you've
I'm
spoken
looking
of.
for someone specific. See, I have been informed of a certain noble, kind of being vague, having some. What is the right way to word this? But it's interesting saying like someone having like infidelity, but that's not a word. There's a certain noble I am suspect of that, from the sounds of it, had an adulterous relationship with a dancer here. And
instantly the mood, I believe, changes. Like everybody's just like,
why are you asking us about this?
And I am wondering if one of you ladies might know about this. It might be a motivation for him. It might give him motive for having done this terrible thing. And I'm going to stop and say, I understand that this might not be the kind of thing you'd want to go out and say amongst colleagues. So I will be... sounds wrong either way.
I will be in this private room if you would like to...
Maybe I'll just say, oh no, I don't want to out them to Bertrand either.
You could just say, I'll be around the opera house if you need to speak to me.
I'll say, I'll be around the opera house if you'd like to speak with me about this in private.
Okay, so we all know who this person is.
What?
So Marguerite, what would he need to roll here to convince you that telling him is a good idea?
I mean, for right now, he hasn't said anything that made me think it's a good idea at
That's
all.
fair.
Like,
yeah. So
he would have
Marco,
to, like,
I feel like you
like if there was a reward or something.
So
Because
let's
right
just-
now,
so
all
Marco-
it sounds like is a
Yeah.
child. You're
Exactly.
using a child.
Yeah, so Marco, I think you get the sense from these 3, like they're all just like, okay, we have literally no reason to talk to you at all. So
Maybe this might be. Maybe can we flash back to something with Bertrand?
Mhm.
Maybe I would realize that they might not be so willing to out themselves. It's like, what is in it for any of these girls to out themselves?
oh, asking Bertrand this?
Yeah, like
I mean, I think he basically says like,
Blackmail.
yeah, money, like
Money.
he's
okay,
like,
so it's
they're all conniving witches. So
do you have anything you could put on the table for them? Because I have nothing to offer.
I have no money.
Yeah, obviously it is within your interest to figure out who did
I mean,
this.
that's a persuasion test. So go ahead and make a persuasion test.
It is though. It's just true.
I'll give you an advantage die to it.
Persuasion. So 1 modify. Could I fork in anything? Could I fork in murder-wise, saying someone who's killed once might kill again? I don't know.
I feel like you could make a linked test. but I don't think
Link
you want to do
tests.
that.
Link tests
yeah.
just make things worse.
Especially when you have this low of skills, certainly, yes.
Mhm. So it doesn't sound like there's anything I could really do in this regards. Okay, well, one what's the ob?
Ob, unfortunately for him, is 5.
So 7, choose 5 is 23%. Fantastic. No,
Hey, one thing that I should tell you, something when I was looking in the Burning Wheel rules today, I figured out, I remembered again, that there's a special thing you can do.
Wait, this is 6, choose 5.
With injuries.
Mm-hmm.
And let me find the thing you can do. It is called gritting your teeth. Through a supreme act of will and endurance, a character may temporarily shrug off -1d of pain modifiers, and it requires an Ob 4 health test. So if at any point you want to try to get rid of that 1 die for one test, right? So you can make a health test first. It's difficult, but you could attempt it.
An Ob 4 health test is nearly impossible.
Yes, but also it doesn't hurt anything.
It will hurt my ability to try. Well, it won't hurt anything. Like literally, I can just do it.
You can literally just do it, and if you fail,
not
there's
gonna
no
screw
penalty.
me?
No.
Okay, good.
Thanks.
This would have been nice to know earlier.
Yep, I realized that.
Ob 4.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nope, but you get a difficult test, so it's good for you.
Okay, so this is 6. You said Ob. What was the Ob on this?
Ob on this is 5 with the persuasion.
So 6, choose 5. I have to blow both my Artha if I want this to happen, so I might as well. Oh, you said get an advantage die. So 1 modifier
And 2
2 Artha.
Yep.
Ob
5. So close, so close. You have a 6, so you could spend 2 fate and do 2 dice. Nice. Connor is a ninja. Dun 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 dun. You're fine.
Roll 2d6 greater than 4.
The odds are in your favor here.
Whoa!
That was unexpected.
That open-ended so much. You got 5
Wow.
successes.
Where do I
That's
put my
crazy.
Where do I put my persona and fate?
In persuasion? Yep.
So
So
there's
the top
3
left
here
is
now.
yeah.
And then 6 here now.
Mm-hmm. Cool. And then you can mark that difficult test. Okay, cool. Yep. So he gives you the bribe money necessary. So I think he gives you 2 dice of cash. So, I mean, yeah, you can basically just be like, ladies, I will pay you if you tell me.
No,
this.
say I'd probably word it this way. Like,
Yeah.
And if it helps out any, how much is 2 dice worth of cash?
I mean, a significant amount, especially for commoners.
Like, but like, okay, is it like a
it's all
bag
pretty
or like?
abstracted. I mean, it's probably like 2 bags of significant change.
So I'll probably say, because as I see they're not looking too helpful.
Mm-hmm.
I'll probably say anyone with pertinent and real information. I'll kind of pick. Here's what I'll do. I'll take out 1 bag. Will not be. Let's order. Will not. Well, I want to say. Well, how do I want to word this?
Will be handsomely
Their
rewarded.
efforts. No. Here's what I'll say. I'll say whoever has pertinent and helpful information, and I'll pull out one of the bags. I'll pull out one of the bags. Like whoever does that, kind of drop the coins in. You know, like you do. I'll say their deeds will not be. Their help will not be ignored, and then kind of walk off.
That's another persuasion test, but you can add your 2 dice of cash as on modifiers to this test.
I'm not using it yet, though.
Right,
because
but
I only.
ultimately, that's what you're doing. So basically, what's going to happen here, right, is
Wait. Wait. Okay.
So we can do it this way. You can say having the cash gives you an advantage die, or you can just spend both of the cash on this roll. And basically, if you failed the test, right, the consequence would be one of them convinces you they have good information, but it's not, and you end up giving them the money. But it would give you two dice instead of one. But having it does give you one if you just like tempt them with it.
Do I get to know the ob before I pick?
Mm-hmm.
This would be persuasion.
I think it's just ob 4.
Okay, this is persuasion. Could I fork anything in?
I don't know. Do you want to amend your speech at all to add?
Well, there's a reason I only pulled out one. I wanted them to not think I had as much in case I wanted to get information from 2 of them.
Right. So the way we're going to do this is going to be pretty abstracted, right? It's going to be like, if you fail, one of them tricks you into getting false information. If you succeed, Marguerite gives you the real information, right?
Can I try the health thing again?
Yeah.
Might as well.
Go ahead.
Because this will affect it. Is it still up 4?
Yep.
May as well. Though it be a 6% chance, there's still a chance. It's not a good one.
Well, you get to. I mean, the difficult tests don't matter anymore for you, but that's fine.
Okay, so
the thoughts that come to mind, right? If you wanted to add those 2 cash in, you could also maybe add something to your speech and have it be like, it's against the law. It's like, I'm an officer of the law in this case. Like, it's against the law to lie to someone. Whatever. Like, you'd fork and rule of law.
I'm trying to think if it's reasonable for me to somehow, because are they all commoners?
Yeah, all 3 of them. Yep.
So could I maybe okay. Because you mentioned something, the description of Streetwise, that made me think I should be using it more.
It's like the etiquette of the city streets.
That's what I'm thinking. Because
sure.
I could
fine.
know that
They're all
like this
city
is
people.
a lot.
Sure.
I could know that this is a lot of cash for them.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Okay, so that would be then.
Are they both also commoners, or am I the only commoner?
All 3 of them are
I
city
wasn't
born.
sure.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so that would be. Let's see, 4, 5, 6. 6, 7, 8. So if I did 10, you said what was the ob?
4.
10 ob 4, 83. I'll just use both. I'll use both dice just because it makes the chance better.
Yeah.
So that's 4 modifiers then?
I believe so. Yep.
No, Arthur left. Base ob 4.
Mm-hmm. Good luck, sir. Nice. And you didn't need a routine persuasion, but at least you got it.
Wow.
Okay, cool. So
I wasn't going to make that a challenging thing for me.
Yeah.
Or difficult, because that would have been too hard.
Cool. Yeah. So Marguerite, what, like, is it literally just the promise of money? Like, it's just like
Promise of money and thinking that this also possibly hurts young Lord Kleber.
Yeah.
Enticing. Both of them together.
So,
Okay.
so do I just...
We just set the scene. Yeah.
I took off the 2 cash because it's going to be going to her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Marguerite, you can mark 2D of cash.
Ooh, where is that?
It should be on this like stats and skills part. Should be a section next to your like circles, reputations.
Cash.
Yeah, for cash.
2.
2D. Yep. 2 dice of cash.
Wow.
Cool. You could use that to feed Isabeau. Or bribe people if you wanted to. Cool. So where do you guys meet then to have this conversation?
Because I'm just essentially walking around at this point randomly.
I mean, I would want to find him somewhere like inconspicuous as to not be showing everyone that I'm talking to him. So maybe I like walk next to him in like a hallway and kind of like as I pass him look back at him and I go like meet me like in whatever back room in like 5 minutes with like a wink.
Oh dear.
Because nobody would question that from
Right,
me.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah, like one of the passing servants just like rolls his eyes, like.
And I think I know exactly what I'm going to say because he'll do that. He'll follow along because he's like he's going to do it just in case he actually has information. But when he like enters the room, he's just going to say, kind of not loudly but discreetly, I would like to let you know that I am happily married.
Perfect.
And I just kind of respond, that hasn't stopped men before, but okay.
So I take it you know of what I speak then, of what I ask for then.
What exactly are you using this information for?
I kind of will just kind of give her the lowdown of saying like Lord Frederick Kleber has recently become like very he's recently like what's the word?
Set himself
Inherited.
up. Yeah.
He set himself up very nicely. He seems to be the one person I can find who's benefited the most from Maxence's death.
Mm-hmm.
And after interacting with him, he doesn't seem like a very nice person, so I wouldn't put it past him at this point. So I'm just trying to figure out more about him at this point, because he's the only real lead I have.
Can you show me that money again? I want to make sure you're telling the truth, that it's
So I'd probably
all coin in there.
3 coins
what
and the rest is rocks.
what room did you bring me to exactly?
Some back room that
like,
probably
like a
has,
storage room or something. Yeah.
yeah.
Does it have like a table on it?
Sure.
Okay, so I'd probably just take one of the bags.
The janitors play cards in here sometimes.
So let's see. Is there like a bucket I could pour them all in so I can show that they're there, but then have it so she can't just
you
take
grab
them
a
all by
wooden
hand?
bucket from the corner and put it on the table, and then just like pour all the coins in.
Pour all the coins in and then shake them like I'm not trying to fleece you. This money isn't mine. But actually, I don't know, he would have checked his uncle just to make sure first anyway, probably too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I would know something about this Lord Kleber. In fact, he does have a child.
Is it yours? Is she? That's fair. I don't know if it's a girl, so I would probably say, are they yours?
Yes.
He's
And I
probably
kind of like keep glancing at the money, like
I'd pull the money away.
worth it. I'm
don't-
trying to convince myself that this is worth it talking to you.
I'm not going to tell anyone. Frankly, I don't care. I'm just trying to find out. I'm just trying to find out what happened so I kind of look at the money, look at her, like kind of see that she's eyeing the money. I have my own family. I understand what it's like. I would love to shake it back for. I would love to take this myself and bring it back to my home. But I have a job I have promised myself to, and I'm figuring it out so I can make my family have a better life as well. So if you want your family to have a better life, please just help.
Look, I don't know a lot about him. I saw him.
Except for where his prominent birthmarks are, but you know.
Gosh, seriously, Caleb.
Caleb, I am shocked by you right now.
I mean, not necessarily. I just
I didn't tell you where the birthmarks were.
I just kind of go, we saw each other and one thing led to another. And then nothing happened afterwards. And then I was pregnant and kind of tossed aside and embarrassed. I don't know much about him except
He embarrassed you, or you were embarrassed that he left?
embarrassed that he left. Okay, look, that's all the information I have. I don't know very much about him. Now, can I have my money?
I mean, Marguerite, don't you have Noble Wise as a skill?
Yes.
You can make a roll to know more about for young.
Please.
Okay.
This isn't a lot. So
Let me open up this. Why did I do that?
Couldn't you also fork in seduction because you seduced him?
could have seduced information out of him, possibly.
I mean,
I'll give you an advantage test or an advantage
Okay.
dice.
Noble Wise. 1 modifier. What's the ob?
Make it graduated, so it's just gonna be an ob 1, and then depending on how many successes you get, it will determine how much information you get.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow.
So you could spend a fate and get another chance at another success, but it's up to you.
I don't think so at this point.
Yeah,
I gotta
this
save it
isn't
for my
your
dancing.
goals, yeah. So mark that routine on Noble Wise if you need it. And
I do.
Cool. So yeah, Noble Wise, ob 2. So you have like a detail to share. You seem to remember Frederick Kleber confiding in you that his parents did not get along at all.
I mean, everyone who was at the ball knew that.
Okay, so I just kind of go, well, I guess thinking back to the one night, I guess there was one thing. He said that his parents don't get along. I don't really know how that came up or why he was telling me that, since I didn't really care. But that's all I know. Okay.
Sounds like mommy killed him.
That's what I was wondering too, because everyone saw what happened with the mom. I feel at the thing, especially since I was watching.
But technically, it's never been stated out loud at all or insinuated that the parents didn't get along. Just that the mom's a total jerk. So
he. That's where he got his butt face from. Okay.
Man.
I'll probably connect that in my head and say, okay, I think that's helpful. And I'll take the bucket and start look, do you want the bucket? Should I use bags? How do you want this?
You think I want a bucket?
Do you want to be carrying around 2 jangling bags with you? I'm not sure.
Do I want to be carrying around a large bucket full of coins?
So I'll just I'll just start putting the coins back in the bag.
I definitely want to nominate you at the end of this session, Marco, for the humor fate point for that. Do you want them in the bucket?
Well, he doesn't know. He's like, I know. How does a woman carry her coin in this situation?
Buckets,
have you ever
obviously.
seen a woman walking around with a bucket?
A bucket full of just sweet ducats.
I don't know. That was him literally just how do you want this? The bucket, the what?
All women just have buckets in the corner of their bedrooms with lots of
So put it back in the bags and hand her the coins and say, thank you.
You're welcome. And I kind of put the bags down and I'm like, but I mean, if there's any other business you would like.
I'm married. I have a wife. And I'm not like Kleber.
I wouldn't have accused you of that.
You're not rich or, yeah.
I'd probably,
Would I have been able to make a seduction test right there?
Wouldn't have mattered.
Okay.
No matter what, Marco would not be seduced.
Wouldn't be seduced, and he doesn't have any more money.
Oh, no. This is just, you're very good looking.
Seduction. Is there a
And
chance,
I'm
Marco?
Marguerite.
Is there a chance? No? Okay.
No.
Man.
He's a good boy.
He's a good boy, and he's jaded
Yeah.
and cold.
I don't deserve love.
So just in like the I'm too old for this garbage.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he'll just kind of, when he says it, he'll just walk out.
Oh, you're probably. Wait a second. Don't. No, that's what it is. Okay, yeah. Thick skin means your incite actions have a +2 ob. I know there's another trait that's like makes it harder for people to persuade you of things or seduce you of things and stuff like that. So cool stuff.
Well, I guess my thought was jaded because it says reduce hesitation for shock and surprise.
Yeah.
I'm just like, he's not surprised that this, because he's done this kind of stuff before where you're talking with people like, no, I'm not here for that. Just give me the information so I can leave.
And that's a totally good character reason to do that. I was just curious if you actually had a trait that makes it harder for people to do that to you. So, yeah. Because I know that
I mean, look, we did business first. I let us finish all that. And then I was going to shoot my shot.
Bounced off
So
the rim.
He'll just kind of head out like, oh my gosh, like I got the information I needed. I'm leaving.
Yeah. Cool. Well, with that, let's go ahead and take our break. Yeah.
I was going to say one more thing. I would peek out the door and be like, do not tell your uncle about this.
I wasn't planning on telling anybody about this.
Good.
You should totally tell Joe.
I mean, that would help me, so...
To be fair, I'm not sure he'll even remember your name. Because he didn't really... He got 3 names.
He's talked to me the most times. What do you mean?
Well, Marguerite, I think.
No,
is
my
Oh,
name.
Marguerite's name.
He asked, he was given 3 names, 3 people were there. He didn't get names. No, maybe
I
that's
didn't
what...
say my name.
Maybe that's what he'll say is like, I didn't even get your name.
Yeah.
It was for a reason. And he'll leave.
Yeah. Cool. So let's take a break and then we'll come back and see what Joe and Vivienne are up to. Stick around. We got more Lavender Shadows to come.